I sat in the shadowed corner of a dimly lit room, the air thick with the scent of jasmine and anticipation. My wife, Emily, stood in the center, her blonde hair glowing under the soft light, her body swaying like a flame drawing moths. Two men moved closer, their hands tracing her curves with a reverence that made my pulse race. Their fingers brushed her skin, teasing, exploring, as her breath hitched, a soft moan escaping her lips. My heart pounded, not with anger, but with a fire I couldn't explain. I wasn't just watching my wife surrender to their touch. I was captivated, consumed, loving every second of it. This was our secret, our world, and tonight, it was about to change forever. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Tonight's story isn't just about love or betrayal. It's about the messy, intoxicating space where desire and devotion collide. This is the story of Jake and Emily, a couple whose marriage was anything but ordinary. It's a tale of secrets, passion, and choices that blur the lines between right and wrong. Settle in, because this one's going to pull you deep into their world, a world where love is as dangerous as it is beautiful. My name is Jake Harper, and I'm telling you this story because it's mine. It's about the woman I love, the life we created, and the moment everything changed. Emily and I weren't your typical small-town couple. In our quiet corner of Willow Creek, a sleepy suburb just outside Seattle, we built a life that looked perfect on the outside: successful business, big house, white roses blooming in the front yard. But behind closed doors, we chased something more. Something wild. Something that made our hearts race and our bodies ache. This is the story of how we pushed the boundaries of love, how we danced with fire, and how one unexpected twist threatened to burn it all down. Emily and I met 6 years ago, when I was 28 and she was just 22, a shy barista at a coffee shop in downtown Seattle. She wasn't the kind of woman who turned heads back then: mousy brown hair, clothes that hid her figure, a walk that apologized for taking up space. But there was something about her. Maybe it was the way her hazel eyes flickered with quiet curiosity, or how her laugh felt like a secret she was letting me in on. I was hooked from the moment she handed me my coffee, her fingers brushing mine just long enough to spark something. I wasn't your average guy either. I'd built a small empire, 3 tech startups in Seattle's bustling scene, a sleek black Mustang in my garage, and a confidence that came from knowing exactly what I wanted. And I wanted her. I courted her like a man possessed, bouquets of white roses, her favorite, delivered to her apartment every day, dinners at rooftop restaurants with views of Puget Sound, late-night drives where we'd talk about dreams and fears until the stars faded. She fell for me, hard and fast, and I fell harder. But love, for us, was never simple. I wasn't just a businessman with a charming smile. I had tastes, desires that didn't fit neatly into the picket fence life Willow Creek expected. I introduced Emily to my world slowly, carefully. At first, it was just whispers in the dark, fantasies shared over glasses of wine. Then, invitations to exclusive parties in the city, where the air buzzed with possibility and the rules of monogamy were left at the door. Emily was hesitant, her cheeks flushing at the idea, but she trusted me. And I trusted her to explore with me, to see how far we could go together. Our marriage became a dance of boundaries pushed and passions ignited. We didn't just make love. We created it, sculpted it with every touch, every glance. Emily transformed before my eyes, her hair dyed a striking blonde, her wardrobe shifting to silk dresses and heels that turned every head in Willow Creek. She wasn't the shy barista anymore. She was a goddess, and I was her willing disciple. But there was one desire I hadn't shared with her at first, one that burned deeper than the rest. I loved watching her surrender to the moment, to others, while I sat in the shadows, my pulse racing. It wasn't about losing her. It was about seeing her in a way no one else could. It was about the power of her desire, mirrored by mine. When I finally told her, she didn't run. She leaned closer, her lips parting, and whispered, "Show me." That's when our marriage became something else entirely, a partnership of trust, thrill, and unspoken agreements. We found others who shared our desires, men who were willing to pay for the privilege of being part of our world. Not for love, but for the experience. Emily became the center of it all, and I was her anchor, her guide, her protector. It wasn't just about the money, though it was substantial, thousands for a single night. It was about the rush, the way it made us feel alive, the way it made us want each other even more when the night was over. That night, when Emily walked into our living room, I knew something was wrong. Her hands trembled as she set her purse on the counter, and her eyes wouldn't meet mine. I'd seen her nervous before our first party, before her first time stepping into a room with strangers who wanted her. But this was different. This was fear, raw and unguarded. "Jake," she said again, her voice cracking, "I need to tell you something." I set my whiskey down, my stomach tightening. "What is it, Em?" She sank onto the couch, her fingers twisting in her lap. I was at the mall today. I wasn't feeling great, just off. I thought it was stress or something, but then I heard this stupid radio ad about pregnancy tests, and I bought one. I took it in the bathroom at the mall. The room spun for a moment, the air too thick to breathe. And she looked up, her eyes glassy with tears. "It was positive, Jake. I'm pregnant." The word hit me like a wave, pulling me under. Pregnant. A child. Our child. My mind raced, images flashing. Emily with a swollen belly, a crib in our spare room, a tiny hand wrapped around my finger. But beneath the shock, there was something else. Joy, fierce and unexpected. I'd always wanted a family, even if I hadn't said it out loud. But Emily's face told a different story. She was pale, her lips trembling. "I know this isn't what we planned," she whispered. "Our life, our arrangements. How are we supposed to keep going? No one's going to want me like this, Jake. The money, the parties, it's all going to stop." I moved to her side, kneeling in front of her. "Em, listen to me. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the parties. I placed my hand on her stomach, feeling the warmth of her skin through her dress. "This is everything. We'll figure it out. Together." She searched my face, her eyes wide with disbelief. You're not mad?" "Mad." I laughed, the sound rough with emotion. "I'm thrilled, Em. This is us, creating something real. Something ours." For the first time that night, her shoulders relaxed, and a small, tentative smile broke through her fear. "I thought you'd hate me," she admitted. "I thought this would ruin everything." I pulled her into my arms, her body soft and warm against mine. "Nothing could ruin us," I said, and I meant it. But as I held her, a quiet question lingered in the back of my mind. Our life was built on freedom, on pushing limits. What would this new chapter mean for us? For her? For the desires that had defined our marriage? The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Emily's pregnancy changed her in ways I hadn't expected. The first trimester was rough. Morning sickness left her pale and exhausted, curled up on the couch with a blanket and a mug of ginger tea. I canceled our appointments, told our contacts we were taking a break. I wanted her to rest, to focus on herself, on the life growing inside her. I hired a housekeeper to take care of our sprawling Willow Creek home, and I threw myself into work, making sure we'd be financially secure without the extra income. But by the 4th month, something shifted. Emily came alive again, her energy electric, her body radiating a new kind of beauty. Her curves softened, her skin glowed, and her eyes held a hunger I hadn't seen before. It was as if the pregnancy had unlocked something wild in her, a desire that burned hotter than ever. One evening, as I walked through the door after a long day at the office, she was waiting for me. She wore nothing but a silk robe, the fabric slipping off one shoulder, her blonde hair cascading over her bare skin. "Jake," she said, her voice low and urgent, "I need you." I barely had time to set my keys down before she was on me, her lips crashing against mine, her hands pulling at my shirt. It was intense, desperate, like she was chasing something she couldn't name. We made love right there in the kitchen, her body pressed against the counter, her breath hot against my neck. It wasn't just passion, it was need, raw and unfiltered. Afterward, as we lay tangled together on the living room floor, she laughed, a little breathless. "I don't know what's wrong with me," she said. "I can't stop wanting you. It's like I'm starving for it." I brushed a strand of hair from her face, my heart swelling. "You're not broken, Em. You're just you. And I love every second of it." But the truth was, I couldn't keep up. Her desire was insatiable, a wildfire I couldn't contain. And so, one night, as we lay in bed, I made a suggestion. "What if we went back to the club?" I said, my voice careful. "Just once. There are people who'd love to see you like this, Em. People who'd pay to be part of it." Her eyes lit up, a mix of excitement and nervousness. "You think so?" she asked. "Even now?" "Especially now," I said, my hand resting on the gentle curve of her belly. "You're breathtaking." The club was a familiar escape, a sprawling estate on the outskirts of Seattle, where the city's elite came to shed their inhibitions. The air pulsed with music, the scent of expensive liquor, and the hum of anticipation. Emily wore a black dress that hugged her changing body, her confidence radiating like a beacon. I watched her move through the crowd, her hips swaying, her laughter drawing eyes from every corner of the room. We met two men that night, old friends of mine, Ryan and Matt, who'd always been intrigued by our arrangement. They were respectful, charming, and more than willing to pay for the privilege of being with Emily. As we moved to a private room upstairs, my heart raced, not with jealousy, but with that familiar thrill, the one that made our marriage unlike any other. The room was bathed in soft light, a king-sized bed dominating the space, a plush armchair in the corner where I took my place. Emily stood in the center, her dress slipping to the floor, revealing the curves that had only grown more enticing with her pregnancy. Ryan and Matt moved toward her, their touches gentle at first, their voices low and reverent. I watched as Emily surrendered to the moment, her body responding to their caresses, her breath quickening. There was no rush, no harshness, just a slow, sensual dance that set the room ablaze. She was the center of it all, her confidence unshakable, her desire a force that pulled us all in. My own pulse raced, my body reacting to the sight of her, my wife, my love, my everything. The night unfolded like a dream, every moment charged with emotion. Emily's laughter, her soft gasps, the way her eyes found mine across the room, it was intimate, raw, and deeply ours. When it was over, we drove home in silence, her hand resting on mine, the connection between us stronger than ever. Back in Willow Creek, life settled into a new rhythm. Emily's pregnancy progressed, her belly growing rounder, her glow brighter. We talked about the future, names for the baby, plans for our home, dreams of a family that would carry our love forward. The parties, the money, the thrill, they faded into the background, not because they didn't matter, but because something else mattered more. Our marriage wasn't perfect. It was messy, complicated, and utterly unique. We'd built something that worked for us, something that defied the rules of what love was supposed to be. And now, with a child on the way, we were stepping into a new chapter, one that would test us, challenge us, and make us stronger. As I sit here now, watching Emily sleep, her hand resting on her belly, I know one thing for certain: love isn't about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about finding someone who sees you, all of you, and chooses you anyway. Emily and I, we chose each other, through the fire, through the secrets, through the unknown. And that's enough. Thanks for joining me for this story, everyone. Jake and Emily's journey is one of passion, trust, and the courage to write your own rules. If this story moved you, hit that like button, share it with someone who loves a good romance, and let me know in the comments what you think about their choices. Are they reckless, or are they brave? Subscribe for more stories that dive deep into the heart of love and desire. Until next time, keep chasing what sets your soul on fire.